A very warm good evening, my lovely equalizers. There could not have been a topic to ever take the first live on Vani, the Voice for Change, which is better than the topic that we're talking about today. As an individual who has traveled the length and breadth of not only this country but various parts of the world, I feel it is my responsibility to raise voice and to talk about people who've been suppressed and oppressed for generations. A cause that I've personally started to care a lot about, that I feel very deeply for, is the LGBTQ. And it's my immense pleasure, it's such a great time for me today to host with me a foundation which also equally cares for them. And we have somebody from the foundation who will come and talk to me about so many issues and about why is Pride community still underrated. I would like to call them here with me, and I would want to hear about the work that they do, the name of their foundation from them, because nobody can do justice to the super amazing, absolutely phenomenal and very inspirational work that this particular foundation is doing. I've been talking about them across all my social media handles, and it gives me immense pleasure to do this. Right, so yes, we are live, my equalizers, that's what I call my army here. People who would want to change the world, one motivation at a time, or one thing at a time. And here we have Adwaita with us. So hi Adwaita from the Sharda Foundation, and it's our immense honor and pleasure to have you here. The foundation is called Sharda Foundation. I'm so glad because these are super young, extremely dynamic, very driven, and these people have their hearts in the right place. I got in touch with this super amazing lady called Ankita Zadu, Tanmay Jagtap, and we have on behalf of Sharda Foundation here all of them today. So over to you. And tell us about yourself, tell us about your foundation, tell us about the great work that all of you are doing. You can all see them. And these are super phenomenal people. They must be just 2 or 3 years elder to you. Equalizers, young, dynamic, energetic, and people who are out there to change the world one thing at a time. I'm so glad and so proud to be able to do this with you. Over to you. Tell us about the work you do, and then we can take it up from here.
Hi, Vani. It's an honor for us to share the online platform with you and to discuss such ongoing issues. And it's really heartwarming that you gave us such a warm welcome also. So, so first of all, I hope that you're doing good in the pandemic.
I hope the same for you as well. And we all had our ups and downs, but so far so good.
Alright, so without any delays, let's just start with the awareness program we have today. So before that, I would like to share some highlights about the foundation. So successfully we have started working, like we started the foundation around in the last year, and it actually came up as an idea when we saw people suffering due to the pandemic that had hit the world like really bad. So that is when this idea came up, and successfully started working. Initially we started working in Maharashtra, and then we expanded to J&K, UP, Delhi and other places.
Lovely.
This is how we started expanding ourselves, and we kind of tried to, reach out to the society and understand what are the, various problems that the society is facing, and how can we put an initiative and, help them overcome that to some extent. And currently we are also having 5 live projects that are going on. The first one being is Project Huya. And Project Huya is an initiative that we have started for the visual impaired society, where we are helping them with finding jobs and other necessary items in the day-to-day life. We also use some kind of fundraising events where we can help them in, purchasing different stuff and day-to-day necessary items. The second project that I would like to talk about would be As Free as Birth. And this was actually initiated to promote girl child education.
Wow!
Yes. So that is something we wanted to highlight here because,
As free as a bird. Wow, beautiful.
Thank you. So even though we are in the 21st century, we still see that there are some cities or there are some states that are still restricting themselves to provide honor to the girl child, right?
Yes.
So this was that initiative that we started. The third one being Hum Free India. The initiative took place when we were all stuck in the lockdown, and we saw that there were too many people where they were not able to afford food as well. So we had started a 45 days drive
motivated. You guys distributed pastries yesterday. You guys distributed food packets and children, everybody. And there are so many people watching us live. They're young kids. They're not multimillionaires. They're not like some Ambani's, Tata's, Birla's, Bill Gates, and all these are young people who are driven, and that's what totally endears me to you. And that's I was sold. I keep seeing your photographs. I keep following you. बड़े-बड़े packets खाने के ले जा रहे हैं, लोगों को distribute कर रहे हैं. So I'm so proud. I'm so humbled that you guys. This is your life's calling, and this is your life's mission, and this is super amazing. Yes. What else? What else?
Thank you so
Welcome.
much. So to continue with the same, so there was this 45 days drive that we had actually started so that we can help people out and help the society with, at least we were putting that initiative that at least that some amount of people should not sleep with hunger or empty stomach. So that was the initiative we started. The fourth one being give our wings to fly. As I had already mentioned in the previous ongoing project, which was as first. Apart from girl child restricted to study and to educate, there are also these things that come up, which is so there was this menstruation thing. So we try to provide awareness to the girl child so that they actually know how the menstruation cycle continues and what are the things they need to take care of them and how they should come up with alternatives, how it hits you when you are a teenager, when puberty hits. So there were some sessions that we had organized so that girls understand how to handle menstruation and how to handle periods. Apart from that, we also distributed sanitary napkins to girls and explained them how to use it and how that their health would get affected because of that. So that was another initiative that we took. And the fifth ongoing project that we would be talking about today as well is Strive with Pride.
Strive with Pride.
People aware and uplift the transgenders of the society. So we have seen, because of the orthodox society we carry, there are a lot of places where, the day-to-day life of the transgender, where they have to face a lot of problems. So that is why, yes, so that is something we would be having in the Strive to Pride project. So
much. Is there a place that you guys haven't touched? This is so much from girl child to people who have visual impairment to causes like menstruation to Strive with Pride, and I love the name Strive with Pride. That's super amazing, and I think most of our audience is ready. This is super amazing. I wish you strength. I wish you all the very best, that you continue to forge ahead with a lot of strength and achieve all possible milestones. Help as many people as you can. So let's take this up forward, guys. So mostly all the viewers who are watching us, this specific event is for raising awareness against all the oppression that for generations the transgenders or lesbians, gays, bisexuals have had to face, or people who don't identify themselves with any of these. It could be sexual or gender. So let's get started. How do we take it up? Would we take it up as a question answer thing? Would you have some questions from people you connect to, you talk to? How do we do that?
So I believe you can start with sharing about how the things are going on, and then we can have a question answer session about that.
Okay. So the question. So you see, I've always felt, and that's a very, it's a very personal thought, but I've always felt that I was talking to somebody in Chandigarh, and he was born as a male, but identified themselves as a female, and they told me something so beautiful. They told me that Indian society was always bahulingya, और मैंने ये कभी सुना ही नहीं था. In my entire formal education, मैंने ये हिंदी का शब्द कभी नहीं सुना था जिसको बहुलिंग कहते हैं. हमें जब पढ़ाया जाता तो मुझे पढ़ाया गया था कि स्त्रीलिंग है, पुल्लिंग है, अब स्त्रीलिंग वर्ड दिया गया उसको पुल्लिंग में कन्वर्ट करो, पुल्लिंग वर्ड दिया गया इसको स्त्रीलिंग में कन्वर्ट करो. तो जब मैं इनसे बात कर रही थी, और दैट वाज पार्ट ऑफ माय प्रोजेक्ट, जब मैंने भी एक LGBTQ पे I did a small little video of that. I did a lot of research. I got in touch with a lot of people. They said the India was always bahulingya, and that's how we were. That's how our culture were. But I also feel that somewhere we got lost in translation. Somewhere we did not realize that they all can be, or they all should be potentially coexisting. And I also feel that to take away somebody's basic right of getting a job, of education, of basic dignity, just because they're not able to associate themselves with how the society defines how genders should be or what kind of a sexual orientation is wrong at multiple levels. And it is so important for all of us to to be open, to understand how multiple things can coexist, and give them a very open, fair platform and open, fair society so that they can be who they are. So that is something I personally, and now through the platform that we are all on, I strive for it, because that is the least that we can do. You know, if we put ourselves in their shoes and then we look at it, it's wrong to be such a judgmental society.
Yes, Vani, totally aligned with you. Vani, also to add on here, do you feel that religion somewhere is playing an important part where we are neglecting this particular third phase of the gender we're talking about?
See, it's a nice question, but because I have very limited idea of how religion could actually stop it. I come from a religion where we follow Sanatan Dharam, and in whatever little, I don't have too much of understanding, to be very honest with you. I have never faced oppression personally because I have followed a certain religion, or I believe in certain religious practices. But what I feel is that if you do actually go back, and I personally also feel, that lady, when I was talking to that person who's a lady now, and they started to talk about religion, I tell you a nice way to look at it. And to everybody who's listening to us, why go back into the past? Or why go back into what is dictating? Yahan pe ye bola tha. I personally feel in the 21st century, which is the day and age of science, right? And what would I want to tell these young people who are suffering any bias or oppression is not to believe in what some book which was written some years ago or some person says, which is based on his or her understanding of the world. In today's day and age, in today's time, which is based on science, which is based on technology, which is based on facts, when we act on facts, why do you want to limit your understanding and bias your understanding on something which is very old? Like if you talk about India, we had somebody who was Draupadi's brother, who was core, right? They did not really associate with something. We also have Nareshwar, right? But why do you even want to go back there? Why can't you look forward? Why can't you look at a society without stereotypes? Why can't you look at a society without biases? Why can't you look at the society from the lens of science, of technology, of wanting to reach Mars? Right? If I want to go on a spaceship to Mars, the spaceship won't ask me what's my gender or what's my sexual orientation. That's how I look. It's very progressive. It's the right way to talk about it. It's the right way to think about it, rather than thinking about what happened in 5th century or 7th century or 5,000 years ago. It's very small. I don't think so that's the right thing to do. What do you say? I feel no. I feel we should think about what the future has in store for us and how we can be more equal and just for the generations to come. And I also feel similarly, I feel this is the best time to be born a human. Because now, more than ever, our emphasis is on science, is on technology, is on rational. We are not irrational anymore. And it's on, the scientific bent of mind. And I believe that. I believe progressiveness comes from scientific thinking. And we should all be progressive.
Yeah, so and aligning to the same topic. So we usually see that when we usually go to some marriages or occasionally when we go to some celebrations and all. So we have this thing in our mind where we say that a dua of a transgender is very helpful for us and it's something that is a very good thing. And at the same time, there are and it's something like we are so biased.
Yes.
We say that इनकी दुआ मिलना is like हम अपने आप में काफी progress कर सकते हैं. It's a very good thing. But at the same time, when it is not about your marriage function or any other function in that way, at that point of time, we kind of disrespect them as well and judge them on that.
Absolutely, that's a beautiful thing. I have so many friends who don't associate with being. I wouldn't even want to say normal, because who said normal? You and me, right? And who said this is not normal? I wouldn't want to use such adjectives to them. Yes, because we're the one who gave us the permission to define who's normal and who's not. Right. So yeah, and I feel that is what needs to be corrected, and that is what needs to be. And I don't think so. We should take the Sahara of religion or the Sahara of any book. I think we should today take the Sahara of science. We should take the Sahara of rational thinking, of progressive thinking, of equality, of being just to progress. अगर हम पीछे जाएंगे, पीछे की बातें करेंगे तो हम पीछे ही चलते रहेंगे. So if you want to progress, we have to think about science and technology, and I feel I'm totally sold out on that. You want to be developed as a country, as a civilization, as a community, where one side we're talking about colonizing Mars or going to Mars, on the other side हम बोल रहे हैं यार इस किताब में वैसा लिखा है, वहाँ ऐसा लिखा और इनके साथ bias करो. No boss, नहीं चलेगा. Not right.
Correct. So, Vani, what are the things and instances a person who is a gay or a lesbian or bisexual or maybe a trans comes out with while coming out to the society? So, what do you think about that?
Come again. I'm sorry, I couldn't place you. When somebody wants to come out into society, then?
Yeah, so what I was saying is, what are the things and instances, for a person who is a gay or a bisexual or trans or maybe a lesbian comes out with, they step into our society?
So what are the problems that they face? Is that what you're trying to ask me?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to ask.
Okay.
What exactly are those hurdles that they need to cross and how do they have to come out?
It's a beautiful question. See, first of all, no, I feel that it's very difficult to not feel comfortable in your own body. Now imagine I'm a woman and I associate myself as a woman. So I'm comfortable. But imagine if I'm a woman and I don't associate myself with a woman. I'll try to cross-dress. That is the first thing that such people do, right? They try and try out their parents' clothes, the one that they associate with. So what I'm trying to point here is, imagine not being comfortable in your own body. Imagine how devastating it is. And it is. Imagine a man the society expects the man to look like a man, but the man is wanting, feeling like a woman. Just imagine the depth of the point that I have made. Right? Imagine हम अपने घर में कितने comfortable होते हैं. हमारी किसी से लड़ाई हो जाए, कुछ हो जाए, we come back to our homes और दोनों पे दरवाजा मार देते हैं. मेरा घर है, ये मेरा घर है, ये मेरा कमरा है. What we do जब हमारी mom dad से लड़ाई होती है, हम अपने कमरे में चले जाते हैं because that's our place. Right? और हम दरवाजा बंद कर देते हैं. That okay, now this is my place. Now your body is your place. It's your temple. And imagine not being comfortable there. Phase 1. Phase 2. Imagine a place where your parents also don't understand. वो कहते नहीं फेस है निकल जाएगा ये लिपस्टिक लगा रहा है या ये नेल पेंट लगा रहा है या ये लड़कों राइट सो दे आर आल्सो इन डिनायल एंड इमेजिन ऑन टॉप ऑफ दैट देयर इज अ सोसाइटी व्हिच कॉल्स यार ये हाथ ऐसे क्यों हिला रहा है ये तो यू नो दोस वर्ड्स दैट दे यूज छक्का या व्हाटएवर एंड दे आर सो डिमीनिंग एंड इमेजिन दिस इज हैपनिंग टू अ चाइल्ड हु इज let's say 13 14 15 16 17 first of all trying to come to terms with what I am feeling, my parents not accepting, on top of that the society is ridiculing me as if I've committed a crime. It's not a crime to associate with how I feel. Feelings are not crime, right? It's not criminal to feel a certain way. And most importantly, it is not in my control. It is genetic, right? It is not that I am doing something, jhad foos karwa lo. Now all of this, and that's not a 90-year-old person. You don't have this realization when you're 95, deathbed पे आधे पैर कब्र में कहो तब realization नहीं होती. You have this realization when you're an early teenager. You have this realization when you're an adolescent. You anyways have so much happening in your life. Your peer group, your schools, your friends trying to call you something. And on top of that, your own dissociation with what the society is making you feel. You are a boy. You feel like a girl. You want to cook. You want to dress up. You want to have long hair. You want to put makeup. Right? You want to do so much which girls do. So that dissociation with who you are, society's dissociation, parental dissociation. Friends, can you imagine how alone that person is? I mean, I can't even imagine how much of a turbulent time that person is going through. It's terrible. So I think the least, I always believe one thing, and that's something which this is what religion teaches me. You ask me about religion, you know what my religion teaches me? My religion teaches me be kind. Sarve santu sukhina, sarve santu niramya. That's what I want to take from being an Indian, being a secular Indian. This is what that Vasudeva Kutumbakam, the whole world is your home. So if we have something like this in our family, I think the least that we can do is accept. Why is it so difficult for us to accept? उन्होंने किसी का खून थोड़ी ना किया है, किसी को मारा थोड़ी ना है, किसी को जहर थोड़ी ना दिया है, किसी का गला थोड़ी ना दबाया है. So the least, I think, just be, रहने दो, लोगों को जीने दो, live and let live. I think why is it so difficult? No, it's मतलब हमें नाक घुसाना है दूसरे के काम में. तुझे क्यों फील हो रहा है ऐसा, क्या फील हो रहा है? It's terrible. It's terrible.
I think it's high time and we should actually be normal towards how we act around here.
Yes.
So discussing about the same, so Vani, what do you think? How do you want to react towards the LGBTQ community, and what message you would like to share with your viewers?
Okay. I would want them to be a part of my team. I would want my personal team in Vedantu, where I work. I work at Vedantu as a master teacher and as the head of department. I wish there were people of that particular community in my team. I would want to learn from them. I would want to become a more inclusive manager, a more inclusive parent, teacher. I would want students in my class to come and tell me this is how we feel. I want us to become more inclusive. You know, in my I don't know if I should say this or not, but one of my wildest dreams is to become the Prime Minister of India someday, inshallah. So if somebody asked me, I wish I knew this when I was 16 or 17. I didn't know this. I would have joined a political party. But I wish I would want India to become a more inclusive country, less judgmental, more kind, more compassionate, more liberal, and I would want our offices, our workplaces, our families, our societies. I wish we had a special provision where a certain percentage of people have to be transgender. For years of suppression that we've made them undergo, that they just have to stand at a signal and beg. They have to dance and beg. That is what their worth is. That's what our society has done to them over ages. Yeah, and we call them chakka and eunuchs and whatnot. Why this bias? Why these stereotypes? Why so much of anger, animosity against them? Why homophobia against them? For all of this, I think we should be punished. We should be brought to court. We should be punished because we did this. Who gave us the right to do it? And I think in reciprocation for all the wrong that we've done for them, we must now become a more inclusive society. That's the least that we can do. Like if I've ever given a choice to hire a person, I think the last thing on my mind will be, what is your gender like? Or how do you identify yourself? It's your talent. It's what you bring to the table. I will hire you if you're a great teacher. I will hire you if you're a good manager. I'll hire you if you are good with what I want to check in your skill set. I will not hire you if you're LGBTQ. No. That's wrong.
Correct. Yeah, we usually see that whenever we fill some kind of form and something, so just after your name, you have to mention what sex.
Why MNF also? Why? Like, what is your caste, color, creed, community? Human. That's all that I am. Or what is my religion? Indian. What is my color, caste, creed, community? Human. Finish. End of story. Why this thing? No. You don't say, अरे ये lion ऐसा, वो lion वैसा, वो tiger ऐसा. Look at animals. उनसे सीखने को मिल जाएगा इतना कुछ.
Correct. So, concluding the same. Vani, what message would you like to give to the transphobic or homophobic people?
Something is wrong with you, not with them. They are absolutely fine. If you're transphobic, if you're homophobic, you need to go see a doctor. You need to go and get jhad phoos done, right? You need some drugs, treatment, or whatever. You need it. Those people are absolutely fine. So I have a very stern, strong message that mind your own business, first of all. It's none of your business to poke your nose unnecessarily into how the other person's orientation is. Whatever they are, let them be. And if you still feel that they are not fine, because so many people feel that इनके साथ कुछ गड़बड़ है. ये ना अभी हो रहा है, ये phase है, चला जाएगा. I've heard, seen people do that. अरे ये तो ऐसे हैं, मजाक करते हैं. ये you need the treatment. You need to broaden your horizons. You need to learn more. You need to become more accepting. You need to grow up. You really need treatment. है तो बिजली का झटका लगा दो, ठीक हो जाएंगे लोग. ऐसे भी सुने हैं मैंने. तो तुम्हें बिजली का झटका लगाने की जरूरत है. वो लोग बिल्कुल ठीक हैं. You are the one who has skewed brain.
Yeah, right. All right. So we had a really
But
informative.
this was a very nice session. I never knew I could speak with so much energy on this session also, but I've always felt it. I've always felt it कि जहाँ भी किसी का शोषण होता है ना, that's not right. कब तक? ठीक है, we didn't know better initially, no? 10वीं सदी, 11वीं सदी, 12वीं सदी, 13वीं सदी, we didn't know. Now we know. We know better. Now I think even if our mindsets are narrow, we must improve our mindsets.
Exactly. I mean, we should put an end to it. Basically.
Yes. Or drag nahi karna. We should just put an end to it. But I'm sure people like you, you're doing fabulous work across domains. And I always say that the best time of India will come when millennials like you are going to lead us. So because your thoughts, your actions, your spontaneity and what you feel for is just phenomenal. You are unstereotyped, unbiased, absolutely unhinged, and you guys are just phenomenal.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Vani.
Welcome.
So, Vani, would you want to conclude this section by sharing some thoughts on the same?
Okay, I will do that. So first of all, I would want a small vote of thanks from my side. Thank you so much, Sharva Foundation, for having me over. It was a moment of immense pride and extreme gratitude for me to be able to come and join hands with you. You guys are doing phenomenal work. I'm inspired. And thank you for having me over. And for all of you who are seeing us live on any platform, be it Facebook, Instagram, or YT Live, wherever, remember, change starts from within. You can never have big changes. You can't suddenly think of transforming a continent or a country. What we can definitely do is change ourselves, change our own selves, watch over our actions, watch over our words, watch over our feelings. And this is the smallest but yet the most profound of all changes. If you change your own self within no time, your thoughts will be aligned with your actions and your speech. You will bring about a change in your immediate family, your workplace, your friends, your colleges, and your schools, if you're school-going children. And dekhte that small ripple will spread across the pond and we will be a more evolved society. I would just like to end it with what religion teaches me. Religion teaches me to be kind and compassionate to all living forms. I also don't have a right to kill an ant. That's what my religion teaches me, to be as kind and as compassionate to all living forms. And how can I then, talk wrong or talk against as another human? So if we just go back, I think we should take the goodness from whatever is there behind us and look towards the future with positivity, hope, and optimism. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vani.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much. And that's all for today. Take care. If you liked what we did, make sure you go to Sharva Foundation. We've put the link of their YouTube page and all their links on our session description. Go and support them. These guys are doing fantabulous work. And if you liked what we talked about today, go spread the word. Even if there is one person who changes from homophobia to homophilia, which is love, right? This session would be of use and words to us. Thank you. Bye bye, Yash. Ankita is not there. Thank you so much. Bye. Bye.